Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Phantasm Star. And today, as always, is my co host, Biss.
Hello, hello.
So, as we mentioned in our last episode, which we finished up Berserk, we were going to move on to another series. And that series that we chose was going to be Vinland Saga. Because season 2 has been announced, we figured it'd be a good time to actually talk about it before the anime comes out. So, we're going to be talking mainly about the first 12 episodes. So we're going through the first 12 episodes, or I believe you said 23 chapters of Vinland Saga,
Yep.
and then we're going to finish off the next 12 episodes next time. But yeah, we like Vinland Saga to me is one of my favorite animes. It is, as if anybody listened to our last recording, which was me talking about my top 50, I consider it my fourth favorite right after Magi and then Berserk and then Gintama. Because, dude, for a series that came out like 2 years ago, Vinland Saga, and I still hold a strong opinion about this. Vinland Saga was probably the best anime in 2019, not Demon Slayer.
I gonna disagree, but I mean, Vinland Saga is like in my top five anime of the year. That I will say yes.
Yes, and I will say, uh, for adaptations, Vinland Saga really like the Vinland Saga adaptation in the anime, like it just hits hard. Like it's
I,
really faithful to the adaptation. I mean, the
I
openings might have been different, but I still felt like they got the tone right.
I actually prefer the anime over the manga.
Hmm.
It's there are some really beautiful scenes in the manga, but like I think honestly the anime is like the anime like the art at the beginning of the manga isn't the same as like later in the series of
Yeah,
them or like in the later parts of the manga. So for that, I will say the first like what the anime covers of the manga. I will say the manga or the anime is for me superior to the manga. But that's just me. I also
dude.
began with the anime, so maybe that's why.
Well, that's true because like at the same point, uh, like a lot of like famous artists, like you even look at Kentaro Miura, you look at his early work, and then you look at the stuff he made later. He improved over time. That happens a lot with a lot of series. I mean, some of them are pretty consistent. Like I'll say, that, like Black Clover's art for the most part hasn't changed all that much, and it still hasn't like there's more detail now, but like I feel like the characters haven't changed.
I can see that, but like with Kentaro Miura, it's like with Berserk, the art even at the beginning, like it wasn't as good as like later on, but like
Oh yeah,
still, you had some really good, really fantastic, really beautiful, fantastic scenes. With Vinland Saga, the beginning it had some really beautiful scenes, but not like Berserk, and for that I will say, Vinland Saga gets way better the more it goes. Well, Berserk always from the beginning it becomes better and better, but still I will say like Berserk always had that like the same amount of quality in the art of each manga panel. So I will say like that's the difference between Vinland Saga and Berserk. So yeah.
what was I gonna say about that actually? Well, yeah, like, I mean, both have been considered some of the best mangas of all time, next to like next to
Kingdom.
so Berserk, Vinland Saga, Kingdom, and Vagabond have been considered some of the best mangas of all time, which you can definitely, which Vagabond and Kingdom I have yet to read, but I want to read them. Kingdom is a huge book, is a huge series that'll take a long time
Yeah.
to read.
Also wanna honestly like I wanna cover a lot of series.
Yeah, definitely, and we will. But right now we're talking about Vinland Saga, and
Yeah.
I will say, for a series that's depicting like Vikings, like there's a lot of stuff about it that I really love, especially when it comes to like the characters. I have to say, like Vinland Saga has a really amazing cast.
It does. I mean, I honestly wanna like think more. Like now that I've read Berserk, I wanna think like, okay. I mean, I don't wanna really compare, but also I'm gonna compare. between Berserk, like like which cast do I like more? But like, okay, talking about the villain saga, the cast. Already from the beginning, like the cast of Villain Saga is amazing. For example,
Yeah,
you have Ashalat, you have like the second command, you have Thorfinn, you have Thors, you have
Torkel.
Torkel.
I love
Yeah,
Torkel. Anyway, we'll talk about the characters in a bit. Let's why don't we start talking about like a little bit about the story, because I
yeah,
know that I want to kind of get through the first 12 episodes. We'll talk about each character as we go on.
yeah.
So
I mean,
I
so
guess
just before we begin with like the timeline, do we like follow the anime timeline?
I would actually like to say like so I stuck mostly to the anime on this one. I didn't read the manga. Um, you read the manga, and I
Yeah,
did read a couple chapters. I will say like besides the artwork, the openings were completely different. I think that the opening for, if I believe, I didn't read that far ahead, but um, the opening for
scene
the opening scene for the anime was strictly
anime
uh
only.
anime
Was
only.
and Yeah, it wasn't in the anime. The whole scene with Thor's like mid of the war, just fighting, just going from boat to boat,
Yeah,
slicing Vikings. It wasn't in the manga. Like he wasn't in there.
yeah, but I think for like anime introductions like hooks, I do believe that Vinland Saga has like a really good has a really good hook like at the very beginning. Um, Now that being said, we'll get to like now I'm glad that they did adapt like the manga portion of the opening, like the first two chapters into the
Yeah.
anime, which I still found very interesting because they made it consistent with like the actual like timeline, which I found interesting. Because you know, for Berserk, we just went right into the action. We didn't really know about anything, and then we got the Golden Age arc. But for this, you're actually following in the anime. You're strictly following like Thorfinn, and I guess like that's something that I found like interesting, which is like, oh, we just go right into the backstory of like our main character to make it consistent. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah. No. I also liked it seeing a bit of Thor's backstory as to like the reason why like the whole elite Vikings or the elite team of the king comes to the island of Thor to like check on him. Like you actually see at the beginning of the anime why he has those people after him.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and it's I think that's why I prefer the anime. It's like the anime adds so much more to like the each character. Well, the manga, I mean, it's also amazing, but like still, it's it's like the anime can do so much more because like the author like everyone can like put their like what they think will be the best for the series. So I think the anime has an advantage in this case. But
well, at the same point, uh, talking about the anime, well, I guess like talking about the whole idea of Vinland Saga itself. So this entire series is actually based on, for the most part, true events that happened back in like I don't know, I forget the ninth century. I believe they said ninth, tenth
uh,
century,
it's the year before. I think like
1000 AD or something.
yeah. But like, I mean, I still like, I don't- like not everything in Vinland Saga. Like a lot of things
Yeah,
are taking liberty on like each event. It's not like 100% accurate.
yeah, but like for the most part, like Thorfinn's an actual character.
Yeah, yeah. Even
Um,
Thor's
Forkel, Thor's like a lot of
Canute, King Canute.
yep, King Canute, which we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Like I think there's only one character. He's my favorite character. We'll talk about him in a bit. He is the only one that is, I think, a fictional. He is a not mythical, but fictional warrior.
Was it? No, not Turco. Turco is a
No, no,
thing
no, no,
also.
no, no, no. Forkel's an actual
Yeah.
Um, no, it's Askeladd. Askeladd is considered.
Ashland?
Yeah, Askeladd's a not a
What do you call him? Askeland? From in the anime, they called him Ashland.
Askeladd. I
I
guess it's.
mean,
I guess it again. This is like like ask like.
Escalade. I mean, I like like I mainly prefer to say like how the anime does it because I feel like that's the most. But like American. I mean, people. Everyone has their own way to say the names.
Mhm. Yeah, like Americanization. I'm pretty sure like people of Denmark are said it
Yeah,
different. But anyway, yeah. So we're introduced to fours, and we understand like exactly who. Like I have to say for like the anyway, we'll get to that part later. But for the
yeah,
episodes that we had fours in, I will say we got like a bit of an introduction to like who he was as a person. More importantly, as a character, as a guy who you know he was he's basically the overpowered character of the series. Like
yeah. No, I mean, the more we go on in the manga, the more we find out how powerful Thor's actually was, which is kind of mind blowing. But like we will go there and we will like see we will reach there one day.
yeah, so we're introduced to our main character Thorfinn. And I'm loving how like this is how he goes from like doing this uh how they go from like him being a kid who really wants to become a warrior like his dad. Cuz I don't think in the entire I think that just I don't know if they did the whole scene where he finds the knife in the manga or in the
Yeah,
anime.
it also was there. I mean, everything in that you see in the anime is also in the manga. Besides the point where the backstory of Thor's was ship thingy that wasn't in the manga. So everything is like the manga besides that scene.
Okay. Because yeah, so we're introduced to Thorfinn as a kid, and we learn about. So he, hears about the legendary uh, land of Vinland, which I guess at the
Yeah.
time is called Vinland, but like nowadays it's called North, like America. Which
No, I mean the Vinland was in Canada.
yeah, like North America, which
I
you can
mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, true, North America. Uh, I feel like Vinland is like near one of the big. I think it's Toronto. Is it near Toronto, Vinland?
like it's right across from Iceland, but at the certain point, like when he's introducing like Vinland, the idea of Vinland, a lot of people don't believe him because again, this is like before, um, this is before like discovery of America and all that, and like at the time, a lot of people didn't believe that there was anything past the sea because a lot of times, like he even said himself, like during the stories, he explained that I forget who the old man is, but
Eric the right? Eric the Red, Eric the or Ericsson, or was it?
Something like that. But I remember, well, his whole idea is that like nobody believes that he's telling the truth because a lot of people can't travel the sea because of at the time they didn't have like really advanced ships to get across the you know vast ocean to Vinland. Not like today where you can just take a cruise over.
Yeah, but like the difference in there is not per se. So the reason why the Vikings were able to explore there is because they instead of like traveling like a long distance, they went from one place to the other. So like they made short distances basically. So they went from Iceland to Greenland, from Greenland to Canada, which is longer, but it's also the most safe. Because like when you're traveling via the boat, sometimes you have like the wind, which you have to watch out for. Other things which can bring yourself other ways. So
Yeah. So, but at the same time, like it is a lot of people are fascinated by it because it's a land on the that has not been discovered. But yeah, so we're
yeah,
introduced.
it
So
doesn't. It's more. But the reason why they want to find Vinland is more because at the time Iceland was full of ice and there wasn't really any place to farm. The UK or England and Ireland was full of like war, slavery, everything else. So a lot of people were like hoping for a better place, a place the guy who went there, told about like there's like the like you have a lot like the land is full of like farmable land. Basically you can like plant wheat, you can farm there. There's a lot of trees, big trees. So like the main reason why people wanted to go there was mainly because of what he told them about like the promises. Like it's all everything's beautiful there. So
Yeah, so again, it's like this whole Eden place where a lot of people, you know, can
yeah.
go and they can prosper. So yes, so they talk about, and then yeah, it we're introduced to Floki, and uh he's told he's telling Fors that he was a great warrior, and now there's another war about to happen where Denmark is about to invade England, and that's the whole setting of like the first 24 episodes of Vinland Saga.
Man, I hate Floki.
I hate him too. I absolutely
Mm.
hate him too. He made I wouldn't say he makes Griffith look like a saint, but like goddamn.
Oh no way, no way, no way, no way. If somebody actually was able to make Griffith look good, they would be like like they like had to do like the worst thing ever to because like Griffith is like
Like yeah. So we're introduced to like Floki, and we're introduced to or I guess like we're introduced to the idea that there's going to be a war and Force has to participate in it, otherwise he's going to be, I believe like he's going to get all of his villages. What was the threat he was trying to make?
basically if he doesn't come with them back to like he came there to basically say you have to come with us and you escaped from the battlefield. We don't do that here. You have to come with us and help us with the war. You're part of the elite, basically what he was saying. Otherwise he would like destroy the village, burn everything. Basically that's basically
Actually,
um
actually, we never actually asked this question, but what I forgot to ask this, but like based on like the first 4 episodes of like seeing this, what did you think about Thorfinn?
I mean, at the beginning, I was like, I didn't really like Thorfinn. He was a brat. I think, like at the beginning, I told Thorfinn asked the reason why, what happened to Thors. I didn't like Thorfinn at the beginning.
Really? I
Yeah, I
don't know.
didn't like it.
I don't know because I do actually believe that a lot of people hated Thorfinn for no reason. I actually like Thorfinn.
I
Like,
didn't hate him. I just didn't like him. It just was like like one of those annoying characters. But like the more I watched his journey going from this little boy to like going through a lot of experiences, I was like this character is sad. This character is really really sad. And later on you find a lot of other things about Thorfinn which you come to love him basically. But at the beginning I didn't like him. Didn't like him.
like it's understandable you why you think that, because again you'd often like compare him to like Aaron Yeager of a character, because like his whole story is for the first 24 episodes is getting revenge on Askeladd, which we're going to talk about that next. But I feel like in terms of a character, I feel like that uh, up until maybe if it was only those 12 episodes, I would understand. But like the next 12 episodes, got like his character is still the same, but like now it's like it's in a different perspective.
When we arrive there, I wanna talk about like some aspects of Thorfinn's character going through this arc. But also the character at the beginning who is telling them about Vinland is called Leif Erikson, which
Okay,
is the one of the first guys who found Vinland.
yeah. So again, not to spoil anything, but guess what? Vikings discovered North America before anybody else.
To be honest, with Vinland Saga, in Vinland Saga's case, if you like go through history and you know a lot about history, the Vikings history, you kind of spoiled yourself about the story of Vinland Saga. To be honest, because like there are some things that happen late in the story which actually happened in real life. So it's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
again,
don't search for it. Don't search for it.
trust me. I already know what's gonna happen because like
I mean,
literally I looked up Thorfinn and he got the name. He got a name that like will which will definitely spoil the end of Vinland.
I mean, is last name in the animation like the isn't like his real name, or is it? Wait, because like in his the real life counterpart of Thorfinn is last name is Korslanki.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
So anyway, yeah, we're introduced to so guess Force ends up joining, ends up, wanting to join the effort in order to join Denmark in the fight against England because Denmark was using a lot of Vikings at the time
I mean
to.
they were Vikings is more Vikings is like they were more called Danish people because Vikings were more the part of them which raided farms and destroyed them. Basically, Vikings you can say were the mercenaries
Yeah,
of
I was gonna
the
say like
Danish.
to like Vikings were more considered a mercenary group than actual army, but they used them more for like smaller
Mm.
fights, so like raiding villages outside of England, a lot like basically doing the dirty work.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's it's the Vikings. Like I just searched up, okay, but the Vikings are basically an Scandinavian seafaring pirates and traders. So basically, they were pirates, traders, mercenaries, who basically raided and settled in many parts of North and Western Europe.
Yeah, so they did a lot of the dirty work for
The
the
Danish,
highest
I
bidder
think.
because even like the French used them in the first episode,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, they were mercenaries,
or
and
even even British, which we'll get to later.
yeah. I mean, that's true.
So it wasn't always just like they only pledged their allegiance to Denmark. It was the highest bidder.
Hmm.
But yeah, so we're as speaking of Vikings, we get introduced to Askeladd, and this is like episode 3, I think. So oh no, wait, late episode 2. Yeah, about like 2, 3. So yeah, we're introduced to Askeladd, and right off the bat, you can definitely tell like Askeladd is not your typical Viking.
It's not. Ashland is amazing.
Dude, I'm not even gonna talk about Askeladd without even fucking like making an hour long conversation about it. But we can talk about. But like, okay, let me ask you this: do you consider Askeladd a villain?
uh, my God, that's difficult. Cause like on one side you can see him as the main villain in the show. Cause like he's the reason, he's the evil reason why Thorfinn even began his journey. But
Yeah,
on the other side, he's like even then, so when I read Berserk. And I was reading the first arc when Gus was under the guy Magneto or something like that. Remember his name?
yeah,
uh I felt like a strong similarity to Vinland Saga because like you have the whole like Ashelat using Thorfinn for their battles and the same kind of the same with in Berserk but like not like the same but also not. So when I was reading Vinland Saga and the parts where with Ashelat actually I was reminded that Ashelat like is like he is so much better. Like as a as a person, he's terrible. As a person,
but I think.
he cares about yeah. As a person, he's terrible. But as a character, my God, if he isn't like the one of the best characters in the series,
Oh, absolutely. I think that like in the first 24 episodes, I do actually believe that as much as it's Thorfinn's story, I also believe it's also Askeladd's story.
it totally it's I think I said this like back in 2019 when I discuss this with other people, but like I feel like the first 24 episodes or the first arc of Vinland Saga, which you can say that the first 24 episodes of Vinland Saga are actually like the prequel of the actual story, because like it feels more like Ashelad's story, and Thorfinn is more of a side character in this overall story. Even though you have a lot of character development for Thorfinn, to or deal with him, but yeah.
Yeah, so they have a lot. Like right off the bat, you know exactly what Askeladd is with his
Mm.
mercenaries, and I will say like I don't know. Still Band of Hawk's better, but I do like Askeladd's mercenary group.
I mean, I'm gonna disagree with that.
What? There's more personality in the Band of the Hawk though.
Ashelat, the only character which is better than Ashelat is Guts. But besides it,
Yeah.
I mean, I like Ashelat. Ashelat is I love Ashelat. It's such a all the other people, other characters in the Band of Hawks. I like Ashelat more.
Mm.
I have to be honest. Like,
Okay.
I mean, maybe
I
because
mean,
like
I'm just
I
comparing.
started, yeah.
I mean, I was just gonna say like the ending of, or not the ending. Like just comparing the groups, like Band of Hawk or Askeladd's group, I'd be like Band of Hawk would be better. But
I
anyway,
mean, like yeah.
so let's get right into like the main part of the story. So yeah, Fours ends up traveling with him, and like you always see like those memes where it's like this story wouldn't have happened if like this character didn't do this, like you know Luffy didn't eat the devil fruit, uh you know Guts decided not to join the Van Hawk, Thorfinn decided to stay in Iceland, like you know that what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know, but I think I like there's this whole saying of that, but I will say that in Vinland Saga's case, yeah, that that is the case, but I don't think that's the case with Berserk or with One Piece,
Yeah.
because
So
like Berserk and One Piece are about their world mainly also. Well, Vinland Saga, yeah, it is, but it's also mainly so Vinland Saga, it's like it was forced to be to continue like that because it's based on real history.
yeah. So I think that so let's get right into the main part of the story, which is like Askeladd challenging Force. Now,
Yeah,
I will say, like, there's a lot of gutsy things I've seen in a series, but like killing off the most overpowered character was definitely the gutsiest move.
it was also really sad.
It was because like at the same dude, that was amazing. That was still an amazing scene though. The fact that like he got like shot with like you know 7 arrows and he still stood up. I'm like, damn, that's a legend. But yeah, the fact that like he decided like what was it? He challenged Askeladd. And I will say like I guess the main thing is that like Askeladd had more strategy. Fours was like had more strength because literally he was able to. It was pretty much almost on par with Fours up until up until the very end, which Askeladd. So who do you think actually lost, Askeladd or Fours?
Actually, we lost naturally.
Yeah,
Torch like Torch wasn't even isn't like Ashlat was trying to to kill him or to defeat him by trying to slice him, but like Thor's objective was just to break his sword basically.
yeah, and they're like when Askeladd faked out Fours by killing him regardless of who won. Like that kind of set the whole thing in motion with Thorfinn and his whole thing for revenge. So, but I will say, like, my theory is the reason why, like, Thorfinn or Askeladd didn't kill. Because here's the thing Askeladd is an amazing character. But, like, so many other characters that are amazing, they're real. They're a real character that is not afraid. Because Askeladd and his mercenary group have done heinous shit. Like, not,
But
like,
Ashlat is better.
yeah. But, like, but he's not afraid of killing women and children.
No, he's not. Absolutely. I mean, then like we just said, like he is. They are mercenaries,
Yeah,
and they don't care about like people going behind him.
yeah.
You
Like
know,
in the fourth episode, and this is what I love about it, is the fact that the show isn't afraid of being like brutally honest, because in like the fourth episode, you see them just basically pillaging a village, killing women, men, women, and children, and
was that the episode where Thorfinn
almost like beheads Askeladd, but doesn't but holds back because I think that he wants an actual duel with him.
when does Turco appear in the anime again?
Like I'm like episode 9, 10. Like this is probably around when Canute and the King of Denmark shows up.
Yeah, when they trying to besiege the one fortress, like then
Yeah,
when
the
they
Bridge of
trying to besiege
London.
London, yeah, London, and after that they like Thorfinn washes up and gets picked by the one woman, and then like he sends a signal of like you can raid, and then there's this beautiful shot of him basically looking towards this one woman and be like, go away. What did you run?
Oh yeah, absolutely great. No,
Yeah.
but going back to what we were talking about, yeah. So we're yeah, like Askeladd is not afraid of doing what's necessary for his cause, which is basically getting money. Well,
Yeah,
there's
I
another
mean,
thing, but we'll talk about that later.
um,
But yeah, like as a character, I think Askeladd from the very start was a very interesting character. But like the next 24 episodes, he got amazing. Um,
yeah.
yeah. So Askeladd brings on Thorfinn, and my theory was that the fact that I think he saw a lot of himself in Thorfinn.
Yeah, I mean, no, if you think about it, then one does his backstory in the later episodes, right?
Yeah, and again, like Thorfinn is on his. This is when like Thorfinn declares that he's going to kill Askeladd and get revenge for his father, and I love the dynamic between the two because one is like you know almost like a father figure of sorts. Uh,
It is. I mean, Dorfin doesn't want to admit it, but like he was. I mean, he was a terrible father figure, but he was one.
yeah, like as he went along, he learned about his own fighting style and how to become like a better warrior, including like as a kid he killed people, man. He killed like grown ass adults.
I mean, the times that they were in were far more different from the way they thought. The way those characters think, is way different from what we think right now. So like, they
And
didn't really care about a boy like going like into battles and basically like killing them. So
yeah, like that's what I like about this series is the fact that it's like brutally honest with what the setting is. Like it's not a power of friendship and love will prevail and all that bullshit. Like it's not a fucking isekai where everybody gets brought into a fantasy world. This is a real war with real people who really die. Like this isn't like you can't bring back Dragon Balls and wish like fours back. Like that's what I loved
yeah.
about it was the fact that they just killed off one of the most overpowered characters and didn't even like care about the ramifications about it.
I mean, they cared about it because, like,
Oh, they
I
cared
mean,
about
I mean,
it.
I mean, Thor's that is just was a big setup for Thorfinn's character to grow up and actually like becoming an amazing character.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
I feel like Thor's that also kind of affected Asherat in some way.
yeah, you can
Uh,
definitely see it because I feel like even when Thorfinn like faces off against Askeladd after like in episode 6, he talks main like Askeladd taunts Thorfinn by thinking that like his dad was nothing, like just nothing but like another you know soul, like another person. But I feel like uh Thor's definitely had an impression on a lot of people in the series that I can really appreciate.
Mhm.
He's like Kamina for like Vinland Saga, you know? He's like he's
Mm,
well
uh,
his impression is laid up was laid upon like multiple people in like a certain amount of chapters.
I feel like Torch had the biggest impact on Thorfinn and a little bit on Eshelat, but like Kamina's way different. Kamina, like what he like, he affected way more people, and his, you know, what he what happened to him affected was way bigger of an effect to the cast in Gurren Lagann. But
Yeah. But that being said, we yeah. So in terms of Askeladd, like yeah, I think that so let's get right into like the main part of the story, which is we're introduced to so as Thorfinn is like developing his skills, he's becoming a better warrior. Eventually, the king of Denmark is introduced along with Prince Canute. So I guess like my main now, if you want to talk about hated characters, fuck the king of Denmark, man. Fuck him.
I mean, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, he's one of the. I mean, I still dislike the other one, the one who ordered Ashla to kill Thor. What was it called again? The guy who came to the island. Uh, fuck. Oh Jesus, how was he called again? Um, Flocky.
Yeah, Loki.
I still think Flocky is. I hate Flocky. Like Flocky is my most hated character in the whole series.
Hmm.
But like yeah, I mean the king of Denmark is a piece of shit. King Sweden, if I'm not wrong.
No, I think it's done. Anyway, um,
King Sven. The way it's called
Swain,
King
Swain.
Sven.
Yes.
He's a piece of shit.
Oh yeah. Again, a lot of characters are either good or like there's no good or bad in this series.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we're introduced to him and then Prince Canute. Now this is I'm not going to
No,
talk about.
Canute was introduced later when he was captured by Turco, and they just mentioned his name in the siege.
Yeah, and in that time, like we're introduced to also Forkel in the same episode, which
Turco's amazing.
oh yeah, Forkel is amazing. I feel like that like in terms of characters, I can absolutely love him because I found it interesting because we're introduced to him like if you specifically watch the anime, we're introduced to him prior like in Force's flashback when he's in the battle. While like we had no idea who he was until like that scene on London and when they're invading London, and right off the bat you could tell that this guy was built different.
The whole meme of best girl, you know that, right?
Yeah,
The whole
absolutely, he
meme,
is
yeah.
best girl, but
I mean, I don't want to spoil, but there's one character late in the series which is, I mean, the whole joke of best girl is like takes a wall, goes another wall, other wall level. Like, yeah, it's I can say exactly why, but be prepared. In later in the manga, you will find another best girl.
oh, absolutely, I bet. But that being said, yeah, we're introduced to him, and we know that exactly like again, everybody was asking why did he join you know England, and his only response was that like he wanted to fight his own people because
He
he
wants
was
to have
getting bored.
fun.
He wanted to
Yeah,
have fun. I love that line.
yeah. I mean, the reason why they weren't able to no to breach Paris was because of him. If he wasn't there, they they would have already like broken into like London. So like it's one man army basically.
Yeah, like even when the best warrior Torfin was up against uh Forkel, which is actually a beautifully animated scene, by the way,
It
um,
is.
he could hardly hold his own. Like the only reason why, uh, like ask or Forkel let him go is because wait, did they talk about fours in that time or not really?
I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, at the end when Thorfinn was no, was it when he I didn't like or just when Thorfinn jumped, or just like at the end before he escaped. But basically, Torkel asked Thorfinn for his name, and he said like, "I'm Thorfinn, son of Thors." And then, oh yeah,
Oh,
was
right,
it
right, right,
at the
right,
end?
right.
Yeah, and then he said, "Oh, Thors. Wait, is Thors the one?" And then he jumped off the rails and into the water.
Yeah.
um yeah, I mean, I like basically Torko picking Thorfinn, and then basically Thorfinn like basically slicing his fingers off.
Oh yeah, it was a great fight. Very like very underrated to be honest. Cause
It is.
but like off the 12 episodes, that's probably like the best fight. Um, but yeah, so I forget what happens next. They end up deciding to capture Canute because they want to take him hostage. I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I forget what was the reason again why they decided to go after Canute.
I
Like
mean, to like to basically, um, uh, you know, make something like, we give you him, you will give us money, basically.
pretty much, and yeah, so
Yeah.
like they're. I think that during the time of um like I believe it was during the time when Forkel was invading Canute's camp. Which I love that scene. That was a great fucking scene where he's like holding a giant dude. His whole thing is just holding logs, like giant pillars, and just like swinging it around like fucking Hulk.
Literally, just logs picking up, like going to a tree, slicing the bottom off. Just, what weapon do you have? I have a log as a weapon.
I know. I love the scene where he picks up like later in the episode. He picks up the spear and just like chucks it. Like, oh wait, no, that's next. That's the next 12 up.
That's after the siege. So was it after the siege? They like Tarfin falls off and he arrives in the village. The whole raiding happens. After that, they receive a message that Canute has been captured by Torkels, and basically, at first you have like a random uh, squad of legion of, like, the Danish. I really like when Turco was just talking with Canute and the other guys, and he sensed something in the bushes, and just, they gave him a spear, and he basically like threw it. It was so hilarious, that part, so good. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. Like I feel like that him having fun, talking to or like him having fun like, in battle is probably the highlights of the first 12 episodes. And then yeah, them going like trying to chase after Askeladd and his groups. Askeladd and his group was definitely the best part. Like I guess like the last scene that they decided to go into safe haven of uh like the Fort Britannia. So like that's their plan is to escort Canute all the way to Britannia, where Askeladd's allies can meet with him and seek shelter from the English because according to history, before Britain became Britain, it was Britannia and that was run by the Roman Empire.
yeah. Wait. Are you talking about when Ashlet, got Canute back?
Yeah, so like when they go into safe haven and decide to
They
go.
they decided to go to Wales, because like,
Oh,
because,
Welsh, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
like
yeah.
Britannia and yeah. So
No, no. But so basically, Ashlat's plan was to basically, go to Well, and trying to cover there, and trying to basically, place Canute as like the king, and make him king, and him just using Canute as like a puppet. Um, But little did you know that Canute will be a different character. That later on.
Oh, absolutely. Because
Yeah.
I guess at the same point, like he spent his whole life being sheltered.
Mm-mm.
So the fact that like when he ultimately decides, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Um, I guess that's what I really liked about Canute is the fact that he like, well, when we get to that point, it was one of my favorite points of like the next 12 episodes of Vinland Saga.
Absolutely. The last episode was like the best episode in Vinland Saga.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, absolutely. But like, there's a
The
lot of great points. There's a lot of
you can't say to me that like the last episode with Ashelet's speech was the best scene, was the best scene in the whole series.
oh no, it absolutely was. But there's a lot of like there's Torf or Fours'
Like,
speech. I absolutely loved in his
mm,
flashback. There was like a lot. Well, I guess we'll talk about that next week. But I guess like in terms of the 12 episodes, uh, specifically, what did you think?
I mean, I like the anime. The anime version is way better. I mean, not way better. It's just I liked it more than the manga. I honestly, my favorite part of the first 12 was the introduction. So when Doris jumps from one ship to the other, or from one boat to the other. Um, I mean, honestly, I really liked it. I think, yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, like honestly, I agree. I absolutely loved. Actually, my scene is just loving everything that Forkel's in. But
True, true,
oh,
true.
you know what we forgot to talk about? Let's talk about the opening. The opening is so amazing.
I prefer the second opening.
I love both of them. I love
I feel like the second was the second the first one. How was it again? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like the first one was too much metal rock for me. It was uh it it
but
wasn't really for me, the
I
song.
just if I mean like if you compared the two, like the first one is specifically about like how uh brutal the world is, and then the other one is basically like there's a lot of symbolism in the first and second one that I absolutely loved.
Yeah, but I don't care about the song. I don't care about symbolism.
I
I mean,
love the
yeah,
songs.
I care, but I mainly watch at how good the song is.
Fair enough. I don't know. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about that was a highlight from the first 12 episodes?
I mean, honestly, I miss Torch. Uh,
Oh yeah, Force is one of those characters like definitely had a huge impact on the series, especially for
is
like the main characters.
and I feel bad for Thorfinn.
Yeah,
Thorfinn is a sad character.
yeah, but I guess like you can't like the problem with an overpowered character is at the like if he stays on, like he won't be able to like it won't be an interesting show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. What about Turco?
Oh well, Forkel is supposed to be like the second strongest. He even like Forkel even says it,
Force
but
is way stronger than him.
yeah, Force is way stronger than Forkel. But
I can wait to get to when Thorfinn is an adult and like him. Oh, I can't wait. Thorfinn is so great. Oh,
yep, I can't. We'll definitely. I'm looking forward to that. The next 12 episodes.
yeah.
But is there anything? Okay, is there anything else you want to say before we finish off?
I mean, a great start. Great start to the uh watch through or read through or like just episodes about Vinland Saga. And I mean,
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoys who enjoyed this episode. And
Well, like that's the thing. Well, that's the thing, right? Is the fact that like a lot of people slept on Vinland Saga back in 2019.
I don't think that's. I don't think people slept on Vinland Saga.
They didn't, but it was like a lot of people watched like Demon Slayer before Vinland Saga.
I mean, that's true, but I think the main reason is but was I think the main reason the only reason why people talked about season one was because of episode 19.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the only reason. But
Uh,
for the rest, like Vinland Saga is was really talked about, and a lot of people like really liked it.
a lot of people now prefer Vinland Saga over Demon Slayer. Let's look at it like that.
I mean, naturally. I mean, if you think about it, teams, what everything that happens, the characters, naturally, Vinland Saga is way better.
Like, I mean, for people just starting out watching anime, like to say like Demon Slayer to watch Demon Slayer first is kind of a no brainer because it's a
It
lot more
depends.
easier. While Vinland Saga is a little bit more complex, which
It
is
depends, cause like if you think about it, Demon Slayer is I feel like honestly like the Vinland Saga is much. There are people who have watched live action of like Kingdom, the Last Kingdom, those types of shows which are mainly about war. I feel like those people will enjoy Vinland Saga more. Even if it is an anime more than Demon Slayer, because the Demon Slayer is like a shonen, and you don't have that really in live action. Well, Vinland Saga you have. So I feel like people who have that experience will enjoy Vinland Saga more.
well, like you look at uh, well, you look at both the main what was it like? Well, there's completely different. Like Demon Slayer is a shonen, while I think if I remember correctly, it's called seinen, like like fantasy historical seinen.
Yeah, but if that's the case, you could like every live action show is a sign-in.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's Dragon Ball and you can just bring everybody back with the power of friendship or some bullshit.
Yeah, that's true. Or even Fairy Tale.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Fairy Tale.
But it's I think Vinland Saga for people who have already experienced with historical shows will enjoy more. It's like a better introduction to anime.
Yeah, like I think if you just go out, like, but I will say, like, Wit Studios really put a lot of effort into this, which I absolutely loved. Wit Studios is
Mhm.
probably my second favorite.
With Studio,
Wit Studio,
which also did Attack on Titan and the Covenant of the Iron Fortress
yes.
and Osama Ranking.
And I'm so excited for Spy X Family to be also produced by them.
Wow, to random anime in the episode of Vinland Saga. Wow.
Wow, that's a
What?
shameless plug-in.
Watch 86. Watch 86.
Yeah, and also 86 is a really good one. Anyway, but I do say that Wit Studios really put a lot of love into this, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next 12 episodes and then reading the manga after this. Because the
Yeah.
season two, because apparently after like the first 24, season two, or where the manga is for season two is supposed to be hands down like some of the best writing.
Yes. Yes, I can wait for you to get there. We will get there. But I really like this the first 12 episodes. Yeah, I
Yep,
don't have anything else to say.
no, I absolutely agree. I think that's a great 12 episodes. But yeah, I think that this is a good way to end off, and thank you everybody for watching this episode. We really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you haven't seen Vinland Saga, we highly recommend it. But yeah, hope you have yourself a great day. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Bye.